When you look at the people around you in a crowded city or a busy station, you instinctively assign them the same inner complexity you possess. You assume that behind those eyes lies a unique history of memories, fears, and independent choices. But consider the possibility that this intuition is a fabrication. Within the logic of simulation theory, those strangers may not be conscious entities at all, but highly advanced behavioral scripts designed to populate your environment. This assumption of a massive multiplayer reality acts as a massive blind spot in human perception, masking the possibility that the world is a much more solitary construct than we dare to imagine. The primary challenge for any simulated reality is the hard limit of processing power. Even a supercomputer built by a Type 2 civilization would face a finite budget of memory and energy. Simulating one mind is manageable, but as the population scales toward 8 billion, the required RAM explodes, quickly overwhelming the system's capacity. To maintain stability, it deletes the billions of secondary nodes, focusing all available power on a single, central point of consciousness. Focusing the simulation's resources on a single player is the most efficient way to maintain a high-fidelity environment without crashing the hardware. In this scenario, the universe functions not as a shared space, but as a dedicated, private experience for one user. In the 17th century, René Descartes attempted to identify a truth that was impossible to doubt. He discarded his senses, his memories, and even the physical world, realizing that any of them could be a sophisticated deception. He found his anchor in one undeniable fact: I think, therefore I am. This established that your own consciousness is the only verifiable reality in existence. This leads to the theory of solipsism, the realization that it is scientifically impossible to prove that any other person possesses a mind. You can observe their actions, but you can never access their internal state. Without that direct access, every person you meet could be a biological machine, perfectly executing a script that mimics human behavior without ever experiencing a single thought or feeling. Modern game developers use this exact strategy to solve processing bottlenecks. They fill their worlds with non-playable characters, or NPCs, entities that look and act like people but lack any internal life. This top-down schematic shows how a rendering cone functions. The system only draws the world where the player is looking. As the cone sweeps past, the NPCs behind the player are deleted from active memory to save resources. If our universe is digital, its rendering engine likely uses this same logic to maintain the illusion of a vast, populated world while minimizing the actual data it has to process. You may have noticed moments where reality feels thin, like the vacant stare of a cashier working a night shift, or the mechanical synchronization of traffic on a highway. These may be instances of the matrix running in a low-power mode. The system prioritizes its most complex behavioral algorithms for your inner circle, the friends and family you scrutinize most often. By concentrating processing power on these key characters, the simulation maintains its integrity where you are most likely to spot a glitch. In contrast, the billions of people in distant countries, or the figures we see on the news, may exist only as procedural background lore. They are data files used to convince you that you are part of a deep global history. This suggests that the complexity of our world is not a constant. It degrades and simplifies the further you look from your own immediate coordinates. Shifting from the mechanics of the simulation to its purpose reveals a different question. A world designed around a single player is not a random occurrence, but a highly controlled environment. You might be an advanced entity who chose to enter this simulation, deliberately wiping your memory to experience the raw sensations of limitation, mortality, and human struggle. This framework redefines the simulation as a psychological incubator, engineered to train and test your specific consciousness through a series of artificial interactions. Within this incubator, the physical world is a fabrication. The people you love, the enemies you face, and the pain you feel are all generated stimuli. But while the environment is fake, the data gathered from it is real. The Matrix is monitoring your choices and your emotional endurance, using these artificial variables to measure the core of who you are. The next time you look into the eyes of a stranger, consider if anyone is truly looking back. You may be witnessing a script executing a routine, waiting for your next interaction to trigger its next line of code. Facing the solitary nature of the Matrix requires a certain kind of courage. In a universe of echoes and reflections, you are the only one left to question the truth.